My family always thought I was the quiet one, the guy who would just roll over when things got messy. So when my brother showed up with a forged deed and a moving truck to kick me out of my own house, he really, truly thought it would work. He was about to find out how wrong he was. It all started when my grandparents passed away. They left their entire estate to me. The house, the savings, the shares, everything, worth just under $900,000. And the moment I found out, something inside me just shifted. I started paying close attention, because I knew exactly what kind of people I was related to. My younger brother, Tyler, is 3 years younger than me. He's flashy, loud, and charismatic. He's the kind of guy who can lie straight to your face and still get you to loan him $5,000 for some sure thing investment that never pans out. He'd gotten away with so much over the years, running up credit cards in our mom's name, borrowing a car that just mysteriously vanished, and every single time, Mom bailed him out. Her excuse was always the same. He's just figuring things out. But for me, it was different. I was always expected to be the responsible one, the backup plan, the family safety net. I was just so done playing that role. My grandpa passed 2 years ago, a year after my grandma. I was their caretaker when no one else in the family bothered to call, much less visit. I was the one driving them to doctor's appointments, doing the grocery runs, handling the mountains of paperwork. Tyler? He'd show up on Christmas morning, snap a few photos for his Instagram, and then vanish until the next holiday. So when the will was read, and my name was the only one on it, I wasn't surprised. But I saw the look my mom gave me. It was this tight-lipped, disappointed twist of her face, like I had personally schemed to take something that wasn't mine. That was the exact moment I knew a storm was coming. The house was the big prize. It's this gorgeous old Victorian with deep red bricks, tall windows, and ivy crawling up the sides like something out of a movie. It's a historic property, passed down through 3 generations. My grandparents kept it in near-perfect condition, and the neighborhood's value had exploded over the last decade. Every other house around it had been gutted and flipped, but my grandparents never sold. And now it was mine. I didn't move in right away. I kept my apartment across town and quietly started getting everything in order. I had the house appraised. I talked to a good estate attorney. And then I set up a trust. Not just for the house, but for everything. I didn't tell a soul. Not Tyler, not my mom, nobody. I took the original deed and put it in a secure location, and I placed the entire property, title, assets, savings, into an irrevocable trust with me as the sole trustee. I even moved the utilities under a business name tied to the trust. It cost some extra fees, but I didn't care. It was a price I was willing to pay for peace of mind. I knew my family too well. I knew they were going to try something. For a while, things were quiet. Almost too quiet. Tyler texted a few times asking if he could use the pool. The house doesn't have one. Mom would drop these little passive-aggressive hints about how unfair it was to leave everything to just one person. She even said, "Well, your brother was always Grandpa's favorite, you know?" As if that should mean something. I just nodded and changed the subject. I didn't argue. I let them believe I was being naive. I let them think I hadn't taken a single precaution. The real drama kicked off last month. Tyler started posting these vague stories on social media. Big things coming, next chapter loading, that kind of nonsense. Then one Saturday, I was at the house doing yard work when I saw my mom's car pull into the driveway. Tyler hopped out first, all grins and sunglasses like he was arriving at a photo shoot. Mom followed, carrying a clipboard and smiling like she was about to cut a ribbon on a new development. "Hey man," Tyler said, clapping me on the shoulder. "We've got some news." I just raised an eyebrow. "We?" My mom stepped forward. "We spoke to a lawyer. It turns out the house should have gone to both of you. Your grandfather made a mistake not updating the will after your grandmother passed. But don't worry," she said with that confident smile. "We handled it." I stared at her. Handled what exactly? Tyler pulled a folded paper from his back pocket and waved it in the air. "We had the house title transferred to my name. It's already done. You're going to need to be out by Friday, but no hard feelings, right? We'll give you time to grab your stuff." I didn't say anything for a moment. I just looked from one to the other, taking in their smug, expectant faces. The pure audacity of it. My heart wasn't racing. I wasn't panicking. Honestly, I almost laughed out loud, because they really, truly thought I was that stupid. I gave them a small, polite smile. The kind that makes people nervous. "You really think I'd let that happen?" Tyler laughed like I'd just told a great joke. It's already happening, dude. You've been living in a fantasy land for too long. My mom stepped in, softening her tone like she thought it would help. We're not trying to be cruel, Aiden. It's just practical. Tyler can manage the property. Maybe flip it. You've got your own place anyway. This way, everyone wins. I didn't argue. I just nodded slowly and said, got it. 2 days later, they came back. This time with a moving truck and a pair of hired movers. I'd been expecting it. They pulled into the driveway like they owned the place, laughing and shouting to each other. But then they saw the porch. I was standing there, arms crossed, beside a tall man in a navy suit. He was holding a thick folder and wore a badge clipped to his belt. The folder had the name of my trust on the front, a name they wouldn't recognize. The badge was real. The suit was real. And the man, Mr. Lavin, was from the County Office of Property Records. They froze. The movers stopped halfway to the door, confused. Tyler stepped out of the car, his smile gone. What's going on? I didn't say a word. Mr. Lavin did. He cleared his throat with the calm authority of someone who has done this 100 times. Are you Tyler Green? He asked. Tyler frowned. Yeah, who's asking? I'm with the County Office of Property Records, Mr. Lavin said, stepping forward slightly. I'm here on behalf of the legal trustee of the East Thornhill estate. That's this property. I have documentation showing the deed has been held in a trust since April of last year, under the management of Aiden Green. Any claims made regarding this property's ownership since that date, including a fraudulent title transfer, are not just invalid, but criminally prosecutable. The color drained from Tyler's face. Fraudulent, he muttered, looking to our mom for help. What is he talking about? You assumed wrong, I said, finally breaking my silence. I never left the property in my name directly. It's owned by a trust. That's why you couldn't find any record in the public logs. You went to some shady title mill and tried to fake a transfer based on an outdated document. Mr. Lavin nodded. I've already filed a fraud report on the attempted title claim. Normally, we'd send a warning first, but given the circumstances, bringing movers, threatening occupancy, we're skipping straight to enforcement. Tyler blinked. Enforcement? It means if you set one foot in this house without my permission again, you're trespassing, I said plainly. And if you try to tamper with the trust or any of its assets, you're looking at charges. Multiple. The movers looked at each other, then slowly started backing away toward their van. Tyler finally found his voice. You're seriously doing this to family? My voice was calm. Too calm. Family? You showed up here with a forged title and a moving crew. You tried to steal my home. The one thing Grandpa and Grandma wanted me to have. Don't you dare talk to me about family. My mom's jaw clenched. They were confused, Aiden. They didn't understand. No, I said, cutting her off sharply. You didn't understand. You thought I'd be the same pushover I was at 20. The kid you could guilt into anything. But I'm not that kid anymore. I learned, I listened, and I prepared. Also, Mr. Lavin added, we've alerted the local precinct. If either of you attempt to return, there will be a file ready to go, civil and criminal. Tyler's eyes flashed with anger, but he said nothing. He turned to the movers and snapped, we're leaving. Now, he didn't look at me again. Mom lingered for a half second, her mouth open like she wanted to try one last manipulation, but nothing came out. She followed him without another word. After they were gone, Mr. Lavin handed me a copy of the report. Call if they come back, he said. I stood there for a long time on that porch, remembering Grandpa's words. Judge people by what they do when they think you're not watching. He was right. I had watched, and I had finally acted. But it wasn't over. 3 days later, a formal letter arrived from a different lawyer, one hired by my mother. In it, she claimed emotional distress. She argued that she had a moral and familial right to a portion of the estate. She demanded compensation for the mental anguish of being excluded. Attached was a list of reasonable reparations. $150,000 in cash, joint ownership of the home, and a monthly allowance. My hands began to shake. Not with fear. With pure fury. She wasn't finished. And now neither was I. I called Mr. Lavin, who put me in touch with a sharp estate attorney named Sonia Cruz. She was soft-spoken but razor-focused. I gave her everything. The trust documents, the letter, even screenshots from Tyler's Next Chapter social media campaign. Within a day, Sonia had filed a formal cease and desist. But she didn't stop there. She discovered Tyler had forged multiple signatures on the bogus title transfer. He'd even used a fake notary stamp and filed it through a sketchy online registry, hoping it wouldn't be noticed. Sonia contacted a fraud investigator with the county DA's office. Turns out, they were already looking into that registry. Tyler had unknowingly become the low-hanging fruit in their case. Then, my cousin Megan messaged me out of the blue. "Hey, can we talk? Your mom's been calling people." We met for coffee. Megan showed me everything. My mother had started an all-out smear campaign. According to her, I had manipulated Grandpa in his final years, convincing him to change the will while he was mentally declining. She was telling everyone I'd taken advantage of him. Megan told me our other cousins, Jamie and Chris, didn't believe it either, but the story was spreading fast. I felt sick. This wasn't about the house anymore. This was about control. My mother couldn't stand that I had said no, and now she was trying to ruin my reputation for it. That night, I built my own trap. Sonia helped me prepare a legal declaration, a statement of facts supported by every piece of evidence we had. I attached scans of everything. Then I sent a clean, easy-to-read version to every relative my mom had called. I wrote a short message. "Before you draw any conclusions, I want you to have the facts. After this, I won't be discussing it again." Then I hit send to 27 contacts. The fallout was instant. My Aunt Robin, who used to dote on Tyler, called me in tears, horrified and apologetic. Then came the final part. I submitted an anonymous tip through the internal ethics line at Tyler's real estate firm. I sent them the full PDF report. It took 2 days. Tyler's name was gone from their website. He wasn't just fired, he was reported to the state board. His license was frozen pending investigation. He called me 11 times that day. I didn't answer. I saw his new Instagram post later. A black screen with the words, "Some people will destroy your life and pretend they're the victim." 2 days later, I got a formal notice from the county. A warrant was being issued for Tyler's arrest for attempted property fraud and submitting falsified documents. He wouldn't go to prison, probably just probation and fines, but the record would follow him. As for my mother, she went completely silent. About 2 months later, her attorney sent a letter withdrawing all legal claims and respectfully requesting no further contact. In other words, she gave up. She knew she lost. I didn't feel joy. I didn't feel triumph. I felt free. That night, I went to the old Victorian and walked the halls barefoot. The air smelled of cedar and old books. The house was quiet, peaceful. Mine. I stood in the den where Grandpa used to sit in his big leather armchair and whispered. I kept it safe, just like I promised. I think he would have been proud. In the end, I didn't just keep the house. I kept my dignity. Tyler lost his career, my mother lost her narrative, and I gained something they never expected me to have. The strength to stop being their victim. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the quiet one anymore.